important is how high it once flew, and how far. The guests are seated. This year, the celestial phenomena are unusual. The cherry don't enjoy the flowers and feast. Wouldn't it be a waste?
What I heard is that military pay was delayed since the Kaifeng currency crisis, and the Quintinent warship couldn't be finished on time. Hosting a banquet here? You're not really admiring cherry blossoms, are you?
Seeing through everything. You're not simple. The prefect, under the guise of watching the naval exercises, is hosting a banquet for distinguished guests here. Indeed, it's to raise military. Now with the internal strife in Qinghu, they can't even take care of themselves. By then, the upstream Shu Kingdom, the downstream Tang Kingdom, and Song will inevitably clash. If we can use the power of the Navy to intimidate them, they will surely provide the military funds to get through this crisis.
What a brilliant move to scare the tiger by striking the mountain. I wonder, between Shu and Tang, who is the mountain and who is the tiger?
Both countries have now sent envoys, who linger around the Imperial merely to spy on the naval strength of Qingming Pool. As for who is the mountain and who is the tiger, that will depend on themselves. The invitation is here. Please deliver it for me, young hero. As once the guests are seated, the banquet can begin.
Today's banquet hosts, honored talents invited by the Emperor. We must proof of the
Jade stone paths, gem-set creepers, splendid. Indeed.
Difficult. So
Lady Yi's laughter, a flare of spring blossoms. Everyone's gathered to see the
Mother, I'm tired.
Can't see anything at all.
verses that disappear. Time has changed. Hmm?
This time, I will not.
Judging by your noble demeanor, you must be an envoy from another country. Am I right?
Good perception. I am Mang Xuanjia, the Crown Prince of Shu. What brings you?
The governor is hosting a banquet at Baojin Tower and especially sent me to invite the distinguished...
Oh? I've long heard of the fine wines and
The Junming Pool Navy is...
Greetings.
Greetings, young hero.
The governor has prepared a
banquet. Can't see anything at all.
The general is here. Strangers keep out.
Sorry for the interruption.
No need for formalities.
Yes, once the guests are seated,
Thank you, young hero.
The Quintident warship towers with 5-deck citadels and stands over 30 meters tall, capable of mustering. This ship stands firm in the center of the army, as solid as a smashing nearby boats, big and...
This massive warship is so huge, sailing from the north to the Shanghai region. If the waterline changes, how do we stabilize?
When sailing from the Bian River system into the Jianhuai region, the difference Wei Dynasty Quintident relied on manual sand and stone ballasting for balance. But speed is crucial in war. Switch to water tank ballast, draw and discharge water locally, and adjust the waterline as easily as moving your arm. In this way, this ship can travel between the northern and southern waterways, as if entering an unguarded land.
Good. In the past, when the Sui Dynasty conquered the Qin Dynasty and unified the north and south, this ship was built securely next to the river. Lost to time, with the aid of the contraption techniques of the Moorgate, it has finally reappeared. Once the final Honored envoys, although Shu and Tong follow the calendar, you've always been diligent with the annual Now, Nanping and Wuping are in turmoil. The military governor of Wuping has sent to Bashu and Jiangnan.
Jiangnan has already exhausted its national resources, having paid tribute 3 times this year. Countless gold, silver, and...
Lord Zhao, the military funds required by the Great Song have been transported with the Shu Kingdom's fleet. It is currently stationed outside the Hui. Only 2 requests for the Song Dynasty to fulfill. First, once the Song occupies the Yangtze River. Second, they must hand over the restoration diagram of the 5-toothed warship to the Shu Kingdom.
Okay. Please, esteemed someone, draft the contract. Since the 2 countries have already made a treaty, General Rong, please hand over your talisman and lend it to the Shu envoy for a while.
Today's banquet hosts, honored talents invited by the Emperor. We must be very careful. How are the preparations? Nothing out of order? If any fruit or vegetable lacks freshness, return it to the kitchen for replacement. Quickly now, fresh tea for our...
General, why do you look so worried?
Young hero, you are ignorant. I have a close friend, the naval commander. He fell ill a few days ago. I sent people. Since you are a guest of honor of General Rong, if you have the chance to inquire about his recent situation, I will surely...
A brief respite.
Orchid Moon, Coral B.
A brief respite.
11-12.
Look, the diagram is
important. With you here today...
Speak. What do you want me to do?
Jinming Pool is currently concentrating its military forces for drills. In such a crucial is the theft of the diagram. I could also...
Stealing from...
If we can swift...
Young hero.
In that case...
Banquet is about to end. Jinming Pool is currently conducting exercises.
Behold the Quintinent warship.
Exactly. The towering ship has 5 decks, stands over 100 feet tall, and can accommodate 1,000 warriors. 6 giant hammer poles are set up around, hanging high on all sides. And the ship's hull is as majestic as a grand mansion. Once the giant hammer falls from above, the enemy ship will be shattered to pieces. Wang Zhen's tower ship sailed down to Yizhou and dimmed the royal Jinling. It's been 5 years since Emperor Shuzong commissioned this pond for naval training in Kaifeng.
Breathtaking indeed.
This unprecedented in scale. I've returned my talisman. I can't go further from here. It's all on you now, young wanderer. The envoy of Shu has arrived at the palace hall. The Navy is conducting drills, and this place is heavily guarded. When approaching the Quintinent, do not alert the garrison troops.
With so many guards, how can we get close to the envoy of Shu?
Naturally. We'll first survey the terrain, plan, and then act. The flank is well guarded. They have even dispatched elite bugle soldiers. It would be unwise to attempt entry there. By then, the entire Jinming Pool will be on high alert, and the boarding passages will be sealed. The water functions as a natural defense. Even the most excellent swimmer will not be able to swim that far. With this distance, even the best swimmer would be powerless. A frontal attack is out of the question. The entire route is lined with officials and soldiers come to greet the later Shu envoy. An unwise charge will only alert the enemy. I've already left something for you to step on, at the mast of the Haihu ship and at the eaves of the hull. With this, you can spring upward and reach higher ground. Proceeding across the eaves, you could approach the water in front of the square quietly. The willows by the water will be your best cover when it comes time to dive. There is no way for us to get to the banks with all of those soldiers and officials around. Perhaps you could hold your breath and enter the outlet from underwater. This way, you will be able to approach their handover points and secretly obtain what you need to know. Before boarding the Quintident warship, make sure not to alert the official troops. Before boarding the...
The military funds are at Huilong Station. After obtaining the Five-Tooth warship diagram, we can finalize the deal.
I still need to stay here to oversee military drills, so I can only accompany you this far for now. Please, esteemed envoy, take my military talisman and head to the dock to board the warship. General Murong has been waiting for a long time. The diagram is on the top floor of the ship. As you inspect the warship, you can take it back with you.
The authentic blueprint is on board. We will stick to the plan.
Your Highness, is this Five-Tooth warship really that powerful? Is it worth using so much military funds to exchange for a single diagram?
Why are you so unambitious? Haven't you thought about it? After occupying the middle reaches of the Yangtze, where should this great ship sail next? If not Jiangnan, then Bashu.
Your Highness, I understand.
What have you
Be the next one to get hit.
Finally, some progress. This tribute of military provisions can ensure the peace of our Shu Kingdom for 3 to 5 years. Seizing this opportunity, if we work hard, we can also build this Five-Tooth warship. In the future, we might still be able to fight against Song.
Your Highness.
Why do you talk so much?
Your Highness, I wanted to ask, why do we have to personally board the ship to retrieve the diagram of the Great Warship? Could there be any trickery here?
What trick could there be? Even in war, envoys are not beheaded. Zhao Guangyi, that guy, killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Firstly, by showing off the five-toothed warship to us. Secondly, by taking the opportunity to retrieve the talisman. It seems the Zhao family is about to kill the donkey after grinding the flour.
By order, verify the boarding talisman.
Excuse me? How do I use this boarding talisman?
Sail to the military port on the opposite shore.
Esteemed envoy, please board the ship and wait. Once the documents are exchanged, we will set off at once for the military port on the far bank and board the warship.
Overconfident.
Intruder! The envoy has been murdered! Pass the order! Everyone stay sharp! Close the warning gate! No one is allowed to leave!
Tell me, is General Wrong really the adopted...
It can't be fake. Otherwise, how could the Tiger Talisman of the Navy...
Then why did she lock General Murong upstairs? Last time I went up...
I'm afraid to... The truth...
Who goes there? You rebel!
Drunk this cup dry of that, I am sure. This is clamor war. Ends now. I don't have much time left. The burst... If someone could restore the past... If... Brother Shah was the first to support the cause, but he broke his golden halberd, resigned his post, vanished into darkness. People say he made weapons illegally, hoarded wealth, ignorant of the fact that if it weren't for secretly paying a large sum of military expenses to the court, how could he ensure his... The four sons of the military are now divided. It all started when he became the Emperor. The Yenyun regions remain unreclaimed. The birds still fly, but the fine bows... Hanging the portrait of the late Emperor high, refusing to serve the new dynasty, is nothing but a desire for death. Xiao Guangying refused to pacify and sent us brothers to personally quell the rebellion. I'm not in control of myself. Not in control. Trusted your family to me. But have you ever thought that if the go to the southern front again, if it weren't... Hanging the portrait of the late Emperor high, refusing to serve the new dynasty, is nothing but a desire. Xiao Guangying refused to pacify, quell the rebellion. The four sons of the military are now divided. It all started when he became the Emperor and you...
This floor panel looks like it opens. Oil tanks with ignition triggers. Is it her? If that ship blows, heaven help us.
I didn't expect...
The command room is ahead! Let's search!
How about we ask General Murong if he's seen anybody suspicious?
You'll trust someone mad. The whole ship's...
True. The entrance is already sealed, so finding him is just a matter of time.
We're in trouble, brother. He solved General Wrong's contraption. Tell the General, quick! Stop! Hang there!
Stop!
Give your name! Fighting fist!
Stop! Who's there?
Stop! Stop!